Hello folks and welcome back to Shogun Total War. I am Conostep and this is going to be part 4 of my 1530 campaign where I'm playing as Clan Shimazu. And I have finally, finished conquering the island of Kyushu. In fact, I did poke my nose out a little bit and take Nagato as well. And this is very close to like the starting location or the starting position for the Shimazu clan when you're playing in the Sengoku Jidai campaign. They actually do start the campaign with Nagato. Historically, I don't think Shimazu ever, the Shimazu clan ever had a presence on or in the Nagato province. I believe they just barely were able to take all of Kyushu before Toyotomi Hideyoshi's armies came knocking on the door. But yeah, so these are going to be our decent farmland money-making provinces here in Shikugo, Haizen, and Shikuzen. And I am working on getting ports built in all of my provinces as well. I'm one turn away from having these ports finished here in Hyuga and Higo. It is winter time. We have a treasury of 1800. And since this is a newly conquered province, I am also building a castle here. It's not started yet, but it will be getting started pretty soon here. Let's go take a look at, what's his name? Takeda Shingen's armies, just to see what he has. I'm assuming it's nothing that I can't handle. And we are allies as well. Yeah. But just take a peek at what he has, that would be nice. And yeah, this is, let's see, this is at the point where so for this year, that is, just rationing out my money. I wanted to build 2 ports, but I think I'm just going to be able to afford to build the 1 port here in Shikugo. And because I want to be able to start building a spear dojo in Nagato as soon as that castle's finished, which will be in 2 turns. So I will be able to finish that spear dojo, which also takes 2 turns. And that way I'll have a castle and a spear dojo built in Nagato by the end of this year. So I need to make sure I save some money for that. So other than that, other than those things, I think I can afford a shinobi, and might be it for this year. My income's okay, I'm making 21 profit. Yeah, I think I might have had a poor harvest in that last year. I'm not quite sure. In fact, I can probably bring... Yeah, I don't need soldiers down here necessarily, so you guys can go here, that's fine, but then these guys can just come up here just to make sure that the Takeda don't get any funny ideas. They are severely overpowered by me, and they did lose they lost some units, attacking Nagato. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, they lost, for the most part, 3 whole units of archers. In fact, I wonder if they're going to struggle with keeping the population loyalty in these provinces healthy, because these are newly conquered provinces. I know we can't see everything right now. I'm not going to dive on into the throne room because I don't think that you guys can see that very well. In fact, I've just squinted to see it. But I looked at it before I started recording. The Takeda do have a few provinces down here now. They've expanded from Aki and they've taken Suo and Awami, obviously. And I think they also may have 1 or 2 of these other provinces down here. Nothing too significant, but they are building a presence down there. And then in the north, it's just Dreadlock. The poor Oda clan have not expanded from Awari yet. Now, Awari is one of the richest provinces in the game, so they potentially could, but they haven't. And the Imagawa clan are attacking them as well. The Imagawa, despite their initial setback, due to me, they do have Saruga, Totomi, Makawa, and Shinano. So that's not nothing. And the Takeda are kind of stuck. They just have Kai and Izu. But then they have that territory in southern Honshu. So they might be able to expand more in this direction than up here. The Hojo look like they're also just completely stuck. They just have Sagami, and I think that's it. And then the Yasugi, it looks like they have a few other provinces like Musashi, Kazuke, and I think Echigo they start off with. I think that's their home. So I would assume they have Echigo. But in any case, that's a long ways away from me. I will not be reaching any other clans. Well, the Takeda clan, obviously. But yeah, other than that, the closest clan is the Oda clan here in Awari, which is just so far away. That's so far away. Now, for now, just to get this out of the way, just be, forthright with what's going to be happening here. If you're new to the channel, if you're new to my style of play, I know that there's a meta in strategy gaming in general and, war in general, which is blitzing. Blitzing is really effective in real life. It's really effective in video games. And, for those of you who aren't really familiar, that just means attacking quickly, often many places all at once, all the time, just continuous. You can make progress just by attacking many provinces, even if you can't win all of those battles, just by, keeping enemy lockdowns in certain locations while you make ground and gain ground in other locations can be very, very effective. And once you learn how to attack in that fashion, it becomes really hard to lose. In fact, it becomes really hard to find a challenge, I suppose. Now, I'm not saying that that's just like the win all. You still have to win some of your battles, of course. You hopefully have to win more than you lose. But for me, I prefer a style of play that allows me to build up my army compositions that I consider fun to use. And I prefer to fight up against enemy army comps that, even though the AI builds some pretty wacky army comps sometimes, I want them to at least have, something that's formidable in some sense. And in a sense, I do prefer to build up for a while and play tall. And again, for those of you who aren't really familiar with that, what that means, it just kind of means working on my economy and, my military infrastructure and all of that, so that I have time to build armies that I want to play with, and that the AI also, quite frankly, has time as well to build something up. I don't could I keep attacking from here? Yeah, maybe not immediately. Yes, if I was blitzing, yes, I could just be attacking immediately and just take Awami and Seoul. But yeah, I don't want to fight that. This is Takeda Shingen. This is the most legendary generals of this era, and he doesn't, have that much. I don't want to fight that. That's just pathetic. And it's not. And look, I'm not trying to call you out if you like playing the fast and blitzing style. What? Hey, you play the game how you want. Obviously, I just I prefer a different style. Now, that doesn't mean that there's a time and place for it. I think that in the opening for most campaigns, there is a need to blitz just to establish safer, in many cases, shorter borders that will allow you to defend your borders with fewer armies so that you're paying less upkeep, and that's going to allow you to have more money to develop your infrastructure. So in the opening stages of any campaign, probably in this Total War series, I'd imagine that some form of blitz is pretty good, right? Even for people like me that like to build things up a bit. But now I'm at that stage. Now I feel pretty secure. I can defend my borders with just two provinces, Bungo and Nagato. It's just one province in either direction. My son is down here. The dad's up here. And even though Kyushu itself is not super duper rich, I intend on building up my farmland in just these three provinces, and that's it. In fact, I'm probably not going to go all the way with all of my upgrades for farming in these provinces. I might get two, up to the 40% in each of these, and that might be it. I'm not quite sure, but mainly just focusing on ports, getting those ports going. And then, and this is kind of what you're all dreading, what you really don't want me to hear me say, but waiting for the Portuguese to show up, which is going to be a little while, honestly. I don't think they show up until is it 1550? I should know this. I've played this campaign a few times. Not the 1530 campaign, but obviously the dates are the same, but it's based on history, and I could have just looked that up. But yeah, I think it's 1550 or something like that. And as you can see, 4 turns per year. We have quite a few turns to go before the Portuguese do show up. The good news is that when they do show up, they show up right here in Heisen, I think, is historically where they sort of landed. I think there's some islands out here that I don't know. I'm not gonna. I should stop. but yeah, there's somewhere they landed in Kyushu first, and luckily that does apply to the game. So that if you play other factions that have a more central location, you will see them land up here. But if you don't own Heisen, you can't talk to them. So you have to kind of wait for the boat to make its way down to Shikoku, and then down here, and it just keeps going around. And if you're a northern faction, you finally get to talk to the Portuguese, a decade after the South have talked to them, which is kind of, it's really interesting how that's done. It's such a small thing, but think of it and you're like, oh, that's really cool, because it does give these southern factions that have in otherwise pretty poor territories a bit of an advantage in some ways. That's a big one. You convert to Christianity and all of a sudden you have the strongest economy in the game. And I think I have already explained this, but yeah, you just get the Portuguese trading post. It's relatively cheap as long as you already have a port built. Boom, you're getting another 200 koku in addition to the port, which is, it's a lot. It's so much money. It's insane. And then you can build churches, and churches, once you have Gosh, what is it? Like, I think if you build 6 of them, you can build a cathedral. And once you build the cathedral, then you can start making money off of each church. And, you know, you can just build churches in every single province at that point. That's another 200 koku, I believe. It's insane. The economy, the Christian economy in this game is absolutely bananas. And, yeah, I might just wait for the Portuguese to show up. They're going to bring guns, and I want guns in my army comps. You know, I designed my army comps. I came out with my video talking about the Shimazu army comps. So if you've watched that, you already know how I like to play with the Shimazu. And yeah, like I can just play with spears and, you know, bows and Odachi Samurai, but that's, it's missing a little bit of the flavor, you know, specifically that gunpowder flavor. So that's where I'm at. You know, I kind of want to like hang out and wait for that. And in the meantime, that could mean a couple of relatively slow episodes with a lot of editing, just to, you know, cut through the dead space. I know when I'm playing medieval, there's a bit more for me to talk about during my slow sections of the campaign, so I can draw out a 2-hour play session into, you know, maybe like an hour of edited down footage where I still have things to talk about. In Shogun, I can probably get 2 hours of game time, you know, play time in, but maybe not have that much to talk about, you know, and I'm not just going to like waste you guys' time. It might just be like, I don't know, maybe 20 minutes, maybe half an hour, somewhere in that range. We will see, you know, I'll talk about the things that do pop up, but if nothing's popping up, I will just be focusing on my builds and that's it. Just the builds. I'm not even going to go too crazy on like troop production because like, for instance, here in Nagato, like I want to be able to retrain my units, right? Especially because I took Nagato for the iron sands deposits, which will make it possible for me to build an armory. Sweet, right? So I will be getting a spear dojo out before I get that armory going. But you know what? I might just wait all the way until that armory is finished before I retrain my spear units, because then they get that armor bonus. Like, why not wait? As long as I don't feel threatened by the Takeda clan. I have a full stack here. It's a bit scruffy. It's a bit beat up, but it will hold against what I can see so far. And I'm sending my emissary out. He wants to take a look and see what is around me. And speaking of which, I will be getting this shinobi out, you know, so that they can, protect my daimyo. I said that I do want 2 around my daimyo and then 4 around my heirs. It might be a little bit too early to worry too much about, ninjas, but you know, this is what I'll be doing, you know, in the meantime, right? And other than that, also something that I've never done in my other Shogun campaigns, but something that I do in my medieval campaigns that I really like doing, which is putting my priests in all of the territories so that I can just spy on everything. And I never did that in this game because I can just look at the throne room and I can get a general idea of what territories. Well, I can, you know, see the territories. As long as I have the map memorized, which I kind of do, I can see what territories all the factions own. However, spreading out some emissaries all over the entire map and then seeing exactly what's going on and exactly what the armies are and where the generals are, that would provide more of a story for me. And I like that idea. Now, I feel like emissaries would get capped by ninjas in this game way more than priests do by assassins in medieval, but let's put that to the test. Like, you know, I might not have a lot going on over the next decade, so if I just want to spend time getting emissaries out and, you know, just kind of painting the map with emissaries, that would give me, I mean, it's going to give me a good idea. For instance, this is my first time actually, you know, digging into the 1530 campaign, and I don't know how big and how many rebel armies there are. So that's going to be useful just to like prepare myself for what I'm getting into. That will be very useful. So yeah, that's going to be the idea. That's what I'm thinking. I'll probably wait until I have an armory going before I retrain my spears here in Nagato. And heck, I might just even go for a archery dojo here as well, so I can retrain my archers with that same thing. Typically, I do want to spread out my dojos so I can, you know, I'm not training spears and archers in the same province. But considering that this is my only province with iron sands deposits, and considering that I'm probably going to be here for a while, I have the time to do this. In fact, it wouldn't be a bad idea if I, you know, if I have the time for this, just to build a sword dojo as well, which will allow me to retrain my Nodachi Samurai. Once they have their +1 honor bonus from Satsuma, bring them up here to Nagato and retrain them for that +1 armor bonus as well, which is very useful for Nodachi Samurai because they have very low armor, and anything to help mitigate the damage they take, for instance, from arrows or anything else, is going to go a long ways for those units. So that's the idea, I think, going into this. So I'll catch you in the little snippets I have here or there where, there's something worth talking about. And the very next turn, I realized that I do not yet have a Tranquil Garden built, so I cannot actually train any new emissaries if my current one does get assassinated. And of course, I just mentioned that I would like to get emissaries in every single province. So this is, I have the money for it, so let's get this going as well. Also, soon-ish, I do want to start teching up to getting geishas as well. And I'll probably be doing that here at Nosumi. That starts off with getting ninjas. So I will be getting the ninja house as soon as I feel like I can afford it. It does cost 400, which is a little bit on the steep side for agent, as far as agents are concerned. Now, I don't know if I've mentioned this before, but I don't intend on using geishas offensively in this campaign. It's just that when you do play the tall style of, just kind of hanging out and building up your economy and your forces and all that stuff, the danger is that the enemy is also building up and checking straight up to geishas, and they don't have any honorable sense of, yeah, I want to let my enemy just build up their armies and let's have a good old fight. No, that's going to fucking murk you with geishas, and it fucking sucks. So if you don't have any defense against that, you're going to have a really stressful campaign. And I had to learn this the hard way. My Shimazu campaigns, my first 2 campaigns, maybe my first 3 campaigns on this channel were fucking stressful because I was just like, I was like being chased around by geishas, and I couldn't even have my best generals on the front lines because they're all just running around. It was so, oh God, it sucked. It sucked. And I finally, like after, way too long, because I'm just really stupid and I'm a slow learner sometimes. I was like, oh yeah, I should finally build geishas, but then just don't use them in the cheap, stupid way. Like, you just use them defensively. Like, have a geisha hanging out by the daimyo. That's it. Just do that. And at the very least, just if I don't even have geishas by the time the enemy does, at least I'm working on it so that I'm getting there, right? Just don't forget about them. Like, get to the point. It's high up there. It takes a while to get up to geishas. So yeah, it takes a considerable amount of investment. So it's not something that you really want to prioritize over economy and armies, but you also don't want to forget about it. You want to be able to defend yourself once the enemy geishas come a-knockin'. It's now the year 1542, so only a handful of turns years have passed. And what is that though? Is that a boat already? I mean, no one's talked to me yet, so I wonder if this is going to happen during this end turn. Am I going to get a conversation with the Portuguese? That'd be wonderful, because that would be quite a bit faster than I anticipated, which is lovely. I would love that to happen. So yeah, I mean, it's been a few years, and it feels good because now we have armory finished here in Nagato. I am retraining my spearmen here in Nagato. That feels lovely. I am also working on my archery dojo, which is going to be finished at the end of this turn, and I will be able to start retraining my archers as well and getting that sweet +1 armor bonus there. And then other than that though, yeah, I'm just like getting my emissaries out. We're starting to spread our wings a little bit, see what's going on. The Takeda clan are amassing somewhat on my borders. Luckily, Takeda Shingan has moved inland a bit and left his 2 lieutenants, Hiraga Genshin and I can't see this guy, but 3-star generals right here. I thought I saw Sanada, which is a pretty famous name for back then. And I do have an emissary taking a peek at Shikoku as well, because I know Tosa is typically a pretty tough province to take in the Sengoku Jedi campaign. So I'm really curious to see what they have here as well. Usually a lot of Nodachi Samurai, pretty spicy stuff. So I'm kind of curious to see what is going to be laying for waiting here for me here in Tosa. But in the meantime, yeah, I'll see if this Portuguese, I mean, that looks like a Portuguese boat, right? I'm not just going crazy. Typically boats don't just pop up in this campaign and not mean anything. So maybe they'll be talking to me during this turn. We will see, I suppose. Other than that though, yeah, I think I'm ready to build my last port here in Nagato as soon as this archery dojo is finished. And I am working on getting my second tier of the superior farmland here in Hizen as well. I know Hizen makes for base income like 420 off of farm income. So I think that's at least worth 2 upgrades. I'm not sure too much about the other, these other 2 provinces. They might get a second farm upgrade later on. We'll see about it. We'll see how I feel about it. But yeah, for the time being, my troop production for Shinobi is finished because I do have the 4 that is guarding my heir and then the 2 guarding my daimyo. And now, yeah, I just want to get some emissaries out on this board and see what's going on. Now that I do have eyes on Tosa, it's interesting that they don't have any Nodachi samurai here. I mean, the forces themselves are somewhat sizable, but it is mostly Ashigaru, a couple units of archers. I know Tosa does give a +1 honor bonus to Ashigaru, so, they're okay. They're going to be okay. There's 1 unit of Yari Samurai, it looks like. And yeah, they don't even have a sword dojo built, which is interesting. That's very interesting because in the Sengoku Jedi campaign, Tosa is a province that starts the campaign already with a famous sword dojo. So if you take Tosa, and it's one of those buildings that will never get destroyed if you take Tosa, there's a few of them. Like there's a few rebel buildings. Like Awa's always going to have a tranquil garden. Issa is always going to have a Buddhist temple. And if you take these provinces, these buildings never get destroyed. Never, ever, 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 ever. So if you're playing as the Shimazu clan and you want to rush Tosa, what you can be getting is +1 honor Nodachi from Satsuma because of the province bonus, and then Tosa because as a famous sword dojo, which is going to be really nice. Interestingly enough, yeah, in this campaign, that doesn't seem to be the case. What's typically so hard about Tosa is that you're going to get like a 3-star general and then, like a fuck ton of Nodachi samurai, like a lot, so it's going to be like yours against theirs and you just have to, it's a tough battle. It can be. And, I have to say I'm a little disappointed by what I see so far, but maybe things will change. We will see. I mean, it looks like, just looking around and I was looking at some of the rebel factions out here, and it doesn't look like some of them are building up their forces. So there is that. And as well, the Takeda are also building up their forces here in Seoul and Awami. It's nothing too crazy, but they do have archers and Yari Samurai and at least 1 unit of Cav archers. And they have armor upgrades on a lot of their stuff. So, and of course, their 6-star general, Takeda Shingen himself, which is, he's in an archer unit. He's in an archer unit with a 1 armor upgrade. So not like super ideal. It'd be better if he was on a horse, but at least he'll be staying out of combat. At least it's not an Ashigaru unit. I feel so bad when I see like a 6-star legendary historical general in an Ashigaru unit. I'm just like, oh, that's so sad. So at least it's in an archer unit. And they also do have a 3-star general down here. Who is this? Amari Toriyasu. Okay. I don't know who that is, but I thought I saw someone else here. No, not you. I thought I saw a Sanada somewhere, but I don't, again, I know a little bit about the Sanada clan. A little bit. They did some pretty impressive stuff. Ah, shucks. So it looks like a ninja is stalking one of my emissaries. Damn. See, yeah, I don't know. I don't know if my paint the map with emissaries plan is a good idea. It just, yeah, in medieval, I feel like you can kind of get away with it sometimes. But in this game, I don't know. There's so many ninjas running around. I'll still give it a go. Like, we'll see. We'll see what happens. Maybe this guy can defend himself. Oh, we got him. He's dead. Yeah. Never mind. The emissary. Paint the map with the emissary plan is back on the table. Here we go. Yeah, I wasn't scared. Alright, so 2 of my allies have engaged in hostilities. I have to choose between Yasugi and the... who's fighting them? Why can't I read right now? Where is this? Okay, Imagawa. All right. Let's see. Who am I gonna fight first? I'm gonna be fighting the Imagawa first, I suppose. So I will remain allied with Lord Yasugi. So does that mean the Imagawa clan are at war? Okay, oh, look at that. I'm making over 4 grand on an average harvest. That's not too shabby. Here we are. Yes, finally, a couple turns later, the barbarian traders have arrived from a distant land and have requested an audience. Do you wish to see them? Yes, yes, yes. Yes. So many times, yes. Check out the outfit.
Large Lord, I bring you greeting from the Holy Father and His Majesty, King John of Portugal.
Say less. Say less. I got you. The answer is yes. Just give me that slip of paper. Give it to me. Come on. Oh, man, you got a long speech for you, don't you? All right. Yes, we bring you greetings from His Holiness the Pope and His Majesty the King of Portugal. If you build churches to the glory of Almighty God, your prayers will be answered, and we could consider establishing a trade post. We have goods you may be interested in. The answer is yes.
Lord, you are a clever father to your smaller warriors. May our God go.
Yes. Yes, you as well. On the off chance that you can see this, now that we are in the throne room, I may as well kind of talk about some stuff that is going on here. The Owari clan, thank goodness, actually have they're making some moves now. Did I say Owari clan? I guess I was kind of close. The Oda clan, they've expanded. They've taken Mikawa off of the Imagawa clan, which is impressive because Mikawa is a river province, and they also have taken Mino as well. The Yusugi clan have taken Shinano off of the Imagawa clan, but that kind of splits the Imagawa clan's empire in half because the Imagawa clan have taken Echigo, another river province, off of the Yusugi, which is pretty crazy shit. And they also have Echu, which is like a pretty worthless province. And the poor Hojo clan is still stuck, and the Takeda clan are still stuck here. But the Yusugi have branched out, and they've taken most of this except for Dewa and Kazusa. So these are rich provinces. But it's getting funky up there for sure. Like the fact that the Imagawa territory is split in half, but the fact that they have Echigo is interesting. So all of that's going to be worth keeping an eye on. And yeah, just in case you couldn't see what I was talking about, Echigo, Imagawa has the Echigo, and they have like Echu, and then Yusuke is taking Shinano. So yeah, it's some interesting stuff going on here. All right, let's see. Moving on here, so the deal, right? So the deal with we've accepted the Portuguese offer. Can we start building these things right now? It looks like we cannot start building the Portuguese trading posts until next turn, and same with the church. With the churches, you need to have a large castle, which is a bit prohibitive, but it's worth it. The money's worth it. Trust me. So I'm assuming I'll be able to start doing that in the next turn. And the key with this, if like going Christian scares you and you're like worried about population loyalty issues and all of that fun stuff, keep in mind a few things. You might not want to like convert right away, like in the autumn year, because typically you want to bump up those taxes and make a bit of money, right? Also, you know, if you do what I do and just put shinobi in every single one of your provinces, no matter what, you're going to be fine. I also have extra shinobi because of the people guarding my daimyo and my heirs. So I have a few extras floating around. In fact, I can train another one just because I'm expecting some disturbances in the population. But the thing is that you don't actually convert to Christianity until the first turn that you start building a Portuguese building, whether it's a church or a Portuguese trading post. It does not have to be a church. It can be a Portuguese trading post, and that's when you convert your people to Christianity. So you can accept that proposal if you want, but if you're not ready, to convert yet because you're like, oh shit, I don't have all my shinobi in place, don't worry, just chill out. You can start building that first building whenever you feel ready for it, and then you will make that conversion. And you might have a couple rough turns. But if you have all of your shinobi in place and maybe a few troops sitting around, it's going to be fine. It's just so worth it. The money is so worth it. If you don't want to do it, that's fine too. But if you're trying to meta the economy in this game, you want to go Christian. That's for sure. And yes, I do want to get guns going as soon as possible. Where do I want to build guns? I didn't even think about that. Where do I want guns? I suppose it doesn't matter because the unit or the building that trains the arquebusiers is the Portuguese trading post. So I'm going to have that in every single province that has a port. So that's going to be everywhere. And that's going to be lovely. Check it out. Here is the Portuguese trading post. Yes, look at that. It only costs 500 cocoa to build, 4 seasons. And yeah, this is going to be giving me, it's funny it doesn't say it in the description, but it definitely does give a 200 koku an allowance. And it also allows you to train arquebusiers as well. So definitely want to get these going in every province. Oh, actually I'm building, okay, I'm currently building a large castle here in Osumi. That's fine because large castles also are going to be allowing me to build this bad boy, the church. Yes. And they're also, look at that, 400 koku, 3 seasons. Like, it's good. The idea is, and if we come back and like look at this building, so down at the bottom it says with the cathedral, it's going to allow you to train musketeers, which is the improved version of an arquebusier. So how do you get a cathedral? Like I said earlier, you do need to have like, it's like 6 churches, I think. And then you can build a cathedral, and then you can just train musketeers from this same building, the Portuguese trading post. So yeah, that's going to be the idea there. And that's what you want to do that because churches are going to be really clutch. So I'm just like, I have a pretty decent amount of money and I'm not really spending it on much at the time being. So let's just do it. Like right here, let's get a church going here in Satsuma. And yeah, like Portuguese trading post. And I'm probably not going to be able to afford all of this, but let's just like put it all in. And yeah, just reap the benefits. And go for it. And then we will switch to building large castles everywhere. I think I'm still working on building a port here. Yeah, I am. But yeah, those are going to come online in like the next year or so. All of those Portuguese trading posts, just boosting my income. Like look at it right now. It's making over 3,000 and it's just going to be insane in a couple years. And yeah, right now I only have Satsuma that has a large castle. I'm working on getting a large castle here in Osumi just so I can keep teching up to those geishas. But I will need to start working on that in all of my other provinces as well. But Portuguese trading post first, just for that extra boost of income, right? Now that we are on our first turn of converting to Christianity, how are we doing here? It looks like Buzin, out of all the places, it's just Buzin. That's it. That's the only place that's having issues right now. Of course, I am on very low taxes. Buzin's sitting at 90% loyalty. And I think I just, let's see, what do I have? I can put, yeah, that's going to boost. I think every shinobi boosts the loyalty by 10%, I think. So, like, I think that should be good. But just to be safe, I can just throw 3 units of Ashigaru in there as well. And I wish it was like in Medieval where it shows you the instant change. That would be really helpful just to soothe the anxiety. But I'm pretty sure that's going to help out. And that's going to be it, right? It's still summertime. And I mean, who knows? Maybe I can even bump up the taxes to punitive once it's autumn. We will see. But that's not bad. That is not a bad shift to Christianity. Now, obviously, I need to convert my population, and that's going to really help out, especially going forward into expanding onto the map. That's going to be very useful. In fact, that reminds me, I'm just reminded that emissaries actually do act as Buddhist priests, essentially. So they will spread Buddhism just like a priest will spread Christianity or Catholicism. I can't train any Judas priests until I do have the churches. And I suppose I could just substitute my paint to the map with emissary plan with a paint to the map with a priest plan. They are cheaper. They are cheaper. Although I wonder if they make a more enticing target for ninjas. Just because the other Buddhist factions hate the priests more. I don't know if that's an actual thing, but it might be. It just might be. But I think, yeah, I guess converting the provinces ahead of me to Christianity just to help my advance, once that does happen, will be more beneficial than this, right? Yeah, that makes sense.
Now we disappear.
Ooh.
Well, what must we think of it?
Okay, so Lord Imagawa, that's it for the Imagawa clan. He was forced to commit seppuku. He has no heirs, and his forces have degenerated into minor factions. Huh. Well, that's it for them. I wonder, let's take a peek. I wonder if anyone has inherited their lands or what's going on here. So it looks like It looks like the Takeda clan has taken Saruga. Totomi is still free. Yeah, interesting. Yeah, just to kind of get in here and I can show you a bit easier. But yeah, yep, they Takeda clan owns Saruga. Totomi is still open. Oda clan own Mikawa, and then the Yusuke like own everything else, and then the Hojo are still here in Sagami. So, yeah, look at that. Well, the Imagawa clan are now eliminated. R.I.P. So now that it's autumn and I put my taxes up to punitive, Buzin looks like it's gonna be okay. So that's cool. Higo, I mean, this is my lowest province at 110% on highest taxes. Yeah, I'll take it. What kind of money will I be making? 3,800? Okay. That's just gonna... So yeah, let's keep an eye on that. 3,800 right now. And then once we see all these Portuguese trading posts coming in, let's just, remember and see what kind of boost we'll be getting. Also, I haven't checked on my heirs in a while, so I do have a 10-year-old who's on the way. Okay. I need to make sure I, keep an eye on that. I don't want to forget about that. I have a 10-year-old, an 8-year-old, and a 7-year-old, and I want to make sure all of them are commanding cavalry archer units. It's just going to really suck if they're not. Now the Lord Oda wants to talk about maybe being allies again, and I'm all ears for this. In fact, since the clan that he was at war with that caused me to end my relationship with the Oda clan is now gone...
At this time, great lord, I am instructed to tell you that Lord...
Yes, let's do it, man. I'll make another 250.
Buddha's compassion go with you.
You as well, good sir. You as well. Yeah. Let's do it. Let's do it. Let's make some more money. Even though now I'm making quite a bit of money, but I'll take it. Any alliance that I can. He's not fighting anyone, is he? No, he is not. So yeah, now that the Imagawa clan's out of the picture, no one's fighting anyone. So that means I can make money off of everyone, which is great because that's an additional. Man, I'm making $1,000 off of that, right? That's what it is. Hells to the yeah. Hells to the yeah. Making $4,000 altogether. Yeah, I'll take it. Ooh, might want to lower taxes a little bit. All right. Jesus. Yep. I did move a Shinobi to Higo just to be sure, but I probably shouldn't have done that. Probably shouldn't have. Yeah. There we. Yeah. Let's move you over as well just to make sure. Now that most of my Portuguese trading posts have been built, my economy, well, it's looking pretty gosh darn good. Making almost $6,000 per year, which is up from what, 3,800? Yeah, that's not bad. That's really not bad. And I'm considering going all in here and just going straight for the large castles in most of my provinces here so that I can just move right onto churches and basically foregoing any troop production for the next 2 years just to kind of get this out of the way. Yeah, it's a little risky considering that the Takeda forces look like they have some decent forces here, like 8, this is 10 units, 10, so they have 16 units here on my border. And yeah, some good generals, archers, spears, 1 unit of cav archers. Like nothing too crazy, but I mean, could put up a good fight. My armies are getting, they were being retrained, but now they're kind of not being retrained as much because I'm focusing just all of my money. Let's just bring some more units over from Bungo. Obviously, I have nothing to worry about from Io, so let's just like stack up here. I have a bunch of Nodachi Samurai just kind of hanging out, and bring over another archer. Like, just why not bring over some more units to solidify Nagato, just to make sure that the Takeda clan doesn't have any ideas, right? And it's not just about, like, I might be able to defend myself, but it's also just about maintaining that alliance so that I can continue to get that additional 250 koku per year. Because even though I'm making, $1 million now, I still want to maintain that income. So, yeah, that's going to be the play there, I think. And, yeah, I'm just going to keep cracking at it, in a few years. Large castles will be built in addition, as well as churches, and yeah, people are happy. Taxes are low. It's winter time, so yeah, let's just keep cracking along here. Here's the rebel force I've been looking for. Holy smokes, check that out. Oh, I want to fight this army. I want to fight it. Yeah, I've been wondering where the decent rebel armies are. I mean, obviously, so we just have, oh god, fuck this. It's just going to be a whole stack of archers. Sweet, bro. And then up here, there's a bit more. Okay, this isn't these armies seem to like get together or something. This is all just spears and then this is all archers. That's so lame. Okay, so see, this is why I'm getting this is why I'm giving Takeda Clan a chance to like get going here, because it's just so stupid fighting all this. Oh, there's another Takeda heir. Here's in a spear unit. Okay, Takeda Nobishige. At least he's an armored spear unit, you know, Yari Samurai. That's alright. That's fine. But yeah, then check out these rebels. 3-star general, Hosokawa Kiyohide. I want to say, weren't the Hosokawa, weren't they like a clan that had a bunch of territory at the beginning of the Sengoku Jidai? I'm not sure about that. I shouldn't be talking about this era of history, or any era of history for that matter. But as far as like armies go, this looks really fun. You know, 3 warrior monks, a crap ton of archers, and then 2 more warrior monks, or 3 warrior monks in this stack, 2 Nodachi samurai, and a crap ton of more archers. Obviously the archers are annoying, but like, I don't know, it's just, this looks fun to fight. So hopefully the Oda clan does not take Yamashiro, so that I can take this. But they are expanding. Last time I checked, they actually have taken a few more provinces in this area, and that is nice to see. So hopefully they are strong enough to provide a bit of a challenge by the time I get to them. You know, that's going to be pretty fun. And yeah, we are getting to the point where just one more turn before I was able to afford to start building all of these large castles in the same turn, which is awesome. Which means that I think in the next turn, I should be able to afford to start building all of those churches all at once, which will allow me to start building that cathedral. I think I did a fortress for that, which is that 3rd tier castle building. I think so. Yeah, I think I need a fortress for a cathedral. Actually, it's not going to show up. No, it's not going to show up. Man, or maybe even the 4th tier building. Is that that's not a citadel, that's medieval. I'm getting my games mixed up. I might need a 4th tier castle before I can start building, or before I can build the cathedral. And I don't make income off of the churches until I have that cathedral, I believe. But yeah, in any case, that's totally fine. Things are going quite well so far. Now that I have churches built up in every single one of my provinces, I just have to wait until I can actually get to that cathedral itself. And I did look it up just to check and make sure. I do require that 4th tier castle building, which is going to be the Citadel? Yeah, which is just kind of confusing for me. Yeah, and Shogun, and unlike medieval, which has 5 tiers of castles, in Shogun there's only the four tiers. So it's Fortress is the 3rd tier, and then Citadel is going to be the 4th tier. I am working on getting those fortresses built here in Osumi and Satsuma for different reasons. Satsuma so that I can build a cathedral here, and then Osumi so that I can keep teching up towards geishas eventually, because I will require Citadel for both of those things. And yeah, so now, yeah, I have the churches that are built up in every single province now, so I just do need that Citadel before I start making money from all of those places. I kind of forgot that I needed a Citadel before I make money off of them, but you know what? It's nice to get ahead of things. And those churches are providing, they are boosting my Christianity now. You know, like percentage Christian, you'll see, is 32% here in Hyuga, and it does makes things, you know, easier to keep people happy is all. That's just kind of the main thing with that. And it allows me to have other provinces that also can train these priests up. And so let's just do that. Let's just get a bunch of priests from every single province so that I can actually flood the whole map. That way I'll actually get priests everywhere. I'll have vision on the entire map. So it's going to happen so fast. let's just do that. I'm kind of, you know, one thing that's kind of refreshing coming from medieval is how fast buildings are built, you know, because it's like, you know, just in medieval, it takes so many turns. And I'm looking at my 3rd tier castle here in Shogun, and it just takes 5 turns to build it. And it's like, oh, thank God. Like, I remember thinking that was a long time. And now I'm like, oh, that's nothing. Five turns? That's nothing. You know, in medieval, it's like, you want to build your 3rd tier. building, and it's, I don't know, it's like 12. Is it 12 for your third tier building, or is it 16? It's a lot. It might be 16 turns to build your castle, your third tier building, castle building in medieval. Yeah, it just takes forever. So it's really refreshing, actually. So yeah, I'm gonna get that going, and I'm just keeping an eye on the Takeda to make sure that like they're not stronger than me, and I still think that I'm okay here for the time being. And let's see. And yeah, I'm still working on retraining stuff here, just because I've spent so much money on my economy for the time being. I haven't been able to get all of these retrained units set and ready to go, but we're working on it slowly but surely. And we are also training arquebusiers as well. Check these guys out. So these are conscripted foot soldiers equipped with simple arquebusas. They are more effective at short range than bowmen, and only the heaviest armor has a chance of stopping their shot. But they are poor in hand-to-hand combat. That's saying the least. They are just ashigaru with guns. That's all they are. And they're pretty shitty guns at that. Short range, pretty inaccurate overall. But they cause a morale hit when they do hit the enemy. Muskets are so much better. They're so much better. But as you can tell, it's going to be a little while before I get access to muskets. And I just wanted to start training these guys up right away. And yeah, we'll get going. I mean, at this point, I'm just kind of like, I want to get probably 2 full stack armies so before I can attack Takeda. But before I do that, I do want to take Shikoku so that I can sneak up behind the Takeda and attack them from 2 different angles here. And I would prefer to do it that way. I like doing it that way. When I play the Sengoku Jedi campaign and I'm fighting up against the Mori clan, I prefer to take them from both sides instead of just, going down this narrow little causeway here, which can be a little bit treacherous at times. So that's how I want to do it. So I will be building up so that I can get 2 stacks here in Bungo and attack Shikoku. Now, 2 stacks might seem a little bit like it's overkill. It might be. I'm still have my mindset on the Sengoku Jedi campaign where the Tosa rebels are pretty tough. In addition to that, Shikoku itself is kind of a complicated island to take, because when you take Io, like Io is your lifeline back to your main home, your Kyushu, right? And if you build your castle and then just leave an Ashigaru hanging out in that castle and intend to take Tosa, you better take Tosa, because rebels can attack from Awa and Tsunuki, even just a couple units, anything to push back your Ashigaru and force them into a castle. If you lose that battle in Tosa, even though you have a unit garrisoned in that castle, it still counts as under the control of the enemy, and you will lose that army that just tried to retreat back to a friendly province, but it ended up being taken during that end turn, right? And you will lose that entire army. And if that army includes my heir, yes, him too, he will die. So Shikoku can be a little bit complicated. You kind of want to have enough to take Tosa, obviously, but then you kind of want enough here in Io to at least just make the enemy not want to attack you. Now, last I checked, Awa and Tsunuki does not have much, but still, I just may as well have 2 full stacks, because why not? How about you check out my horde of these Jesuit priests just marching forward? Don't they look pretty ominous? I mean, yeah, they're spreading the word of God, but man, they looks kind of frightening. There's just so many of them. And yeah, my emissaries are wearing their happy little white and green uniforms, but these Jesuit priests, and they're all black. Yeah, it's pretty scary stuff. But yeah, they will be spreading the word of God for me, and of course, helping me spy on my potential enemies as well. And yeah, that conquest is going to be coming along a bit faster than I anticipated, actually, which is a pretty nice surprise. I have to say that I've made a lot of progress in this in this episode, and I'm getting to the point now where I am going to be building up my second army here in Bungo, and I will be getting ready to attack Shikoku as well. I don't want to, weaken Nagato too much. I want to make sure that I keep this province strong so that the Takeda clan does not get any funny ideas about attacking me. But yeah, I'm going to get my guns ready. They're going to be getting, ready to go here pretty soon. And I'm still only training other units other than guns, which I can train anywhere now that I have Portuguese trading posts in every single province. But I'm only training like spears and archers and Odachi samurai and horses only in Nagato and Satsuma, which is pretty prohibitive for the time being. I've just spent so much of my money, like all of my economy has just been going into more, money-making buildings like cathedrals and churches and Portuguese trading posts and ports and all that fun stuff. really just focusing on economy, which has hampered the level of development that my military is capable of. But it will be worth it, I think, because, you know, I'm at peace. You know, I've been at peace this whole time, which has been pretty nice. And I will be attacking Shikoku rather shortly, I think. I don't think it's going to be too far along into the next episode before I can make my strike and take out these provinces, take out this rebel stack here in Tosa, which could be a pretty fun fight. But that's all going to have to wait until next time. As always, I hope you've enjoyed this one, folks, and thank you very much for watching. This has been Constep playing Shogun Total War. Thank you very much, and goodbye.